What up, it's your boy Scuba Steve.
And I'm the Sodaholic.
And I'm your boy LaChonkla.
My guy, it just sounds like you were just like yelling at the freaking mic, dude.
Me? I was.
Yeah.
Soda yelled at his just in a deeper voice. That's why it was.
No,
That's
that's
why
what I
it
mean.
was
That's what I
not
mean.
as
No, that's what I was saying. No, I was saying Soda was yelling in his mic.
Yeah, it was directed at me.
You're normal, dude. You were talking normal. What the freak? Not everything's about you, man.
Oh, I don't know.
Not
I
everything.
just been told by a lot of people that I yell all the time.
Dude,
I
you
mean,
don't have to yell that. Come on,
that
man.
is true.
man,
That is
that's-
true. But you know,
I'm sorry.
welcome back to another week of a podcast. Woo!
Woo! And it's definitely Thursday, not Tuesday. Woo!
Yeah.
What? Anyways, I'm not gonna do the freaking. So today we're gonna be talking about DC and Marvel and like what we like about them, what we don't. I think. Soda, how about you take this one? Cause I gotta.
Yeah, I can take it. Yeah, I can take it. All right. Thank you for giving it to me. Hey, Pablo.
Yeah?
Hey, do you like Marvel movies?
Heck yeah, bro. What do you mean?
I think you're trash. No.
Okay.
I am a DC movie guy.
Wait, what?
That's right. Okay, hold on. Let me just acknowledge. Okay.
All right.
DC has definitely made some garbage movies.
All right.
Okay, I can admit that.
All right.
But you gotta admit, man, Marvel has also made some garbage movies.
Yeah.
Gotta admit it, man. Yeah. So, if you guys, Scuba Steve already set up the premise. Marvel versus DC. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, out of all the DC movies, right, I think the good ones that DC does have is far superior. Not superior, I shouldn't say that. They are greater than. There's no way I can phrase this without making me sound dumb.
That DC's like ceiling or their like best is better than Marvel's best.
Yes.
Okay.
What I'm saying is Marvel makes some good movies, but they don't make great movies.
All right.
DC has made some garbage movies, but they've also made great movies. It's either garbage or great.
Okay.
Except for
Explain.
Aquaman. That was only good. Okay. The Dark Knight, Joker, Wonder Woman, all pretty solid movies. All right? And they had a lot of great. Man, I should have really thought about this before I put this argument out there. What I'm trying to say is, okay, I appreciate DC because of their grasp on stronger themes and better storytelling. In aspects of the Dark Knight, that movie legit had me like on the edge of my seat, full of suspense. Like the immersion from that movie, just grounded in realism. Even though it's about a guy who talks like this and like that is a stupid voice for
like,
Batman.
Pre-Batman v Superman or after Batman v Superman?
Even like pre and after that Joker movie, greater than anything I've seen from Marvel. Honestly, yeah. But you know, in terms of movie aspects, Marvel is killing it. But I have yet to see a Marvel movie blow me out of the water as much as The Dark Knight or Joker has.
Ramen.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Let me
I'm
open
gonna
my
go
shit
out
back
and
far away
say,
from the mic.
I agree with you for pre-Batman versus Superman, because I think before Batman versus Superman, DC was pretty good at making movies, but
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
well, I mean, like the Batmans were really good, or most of the Batmans were really good. I don't want to say all of them were, but most of them were. But like
bat nipples.
What?
But like
That's a thing?
I just
Is
feel
that
like
canon?
ever since Batman versus Superman, like DC has not hit the mark on a lot of the movies. So like one of my examples was I think the first really big movie after, well, actually, I think that was Wonder Woman, but the next one was Aquaman, and Aquaman was around the same time. I think I'm not 100%, but I think it was around the same time as like uh Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok, right? Uh, tell me if I'm wrong. I think I'm right.
You are wrong. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. I have no
All
idea.
right. Well, it was around. I think it was around the same time. But like, so you're coming off of seeing like Thor Ragnarok and Black Panther, and then you go and watch Aquaman, and then after watching Aquaman, you can't help but like feel that there's something missing to the movie. Cause like what I think Marvel does really well is they have a really good balance of storytelling, comedy, and action. Like they figured out the the like tone. They're doing a really good job with the tones of their movies and setting and staying in that tone. Whereas like DC, um, especially in Aquaman, there are points where like it was super serious, and there was points where it was like super lighthearted, but like it never stayed in the same tone. If you know what, like, I don't know how to explain it super well. Like it just like you don't.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know when to feel what. But
I disagree with that on the Aquaman movie, but definitely as overall, I understand and agree with that. Batman v
apparently-
Superman was like super serious, and then for Justice League, they try to make it into like a buddy superhero movie. That was stupid.
yeah,
That was really stupid.
well, my point is like there's some things that Marvel movies have that like you could just feel like aren't there in DC movies. You feel like the Aquaman movie was like the big movie that was supposed to be like DC's movie to get back into the game, and it just felt like so disappointing. Like it didn't feel you didn't feel like happy watching it. You felt like, oh, this is like a movie that I'll watch like one time and probably won't ever watch again. Is at least that's what I felt. Like, but for like most if not all the Marvel movies, I've went back and watched again. Especially,
I think.
I don't want to bring
Sorry, I'm
examples,
sorry.
but yeah, um, I don't know. That's just what I feel. Like, the visuals of Aquaman were really good. I do like uh the animations and stuff, but like the overall like story and tone did not really match. Like
I
they,
have a counter to that.
okay,
So I understand where you're coming from, but I don't think Marvel is exempt from that. They do. They also change depending on what the audience wants, and sometimes for the better. A lot of people like Thor
Like
Ragnarok.
Thor.
You know, that's exactly my point. Thor Ragnarok, from Thor 1 and Thor 2, the guy, his humor was mainly him not understanding human, just the way humans are, right? And then in the third one, all of a sudden he's an egotistical jock,
Yeah.
he is like his character from Thor 1 and 2 is not consistent with Thor in
Yeah.
Ragnarok. And then you also got Iron Man from Iron Man 3 who was having panic attacks, actual panic attacks from the first Avengers movie. And all that was just forgotten about in future Marvel movies.
I wouldn't say
At
it
the-
was forgotten
at-
about.
Are you sure? When was the last time he had a panic attack?
That was, or I mean,
Because
I-
in Iron Man 3, he told Pepper he was going to give up being Iron Man. He even got rid of his,
no,
his
but
chest thing.
he didn't have panic
But then-
attacks, but he did still struggle with anxiety and second guessing himself and like self doubt throughout like all the past or like the previous. What are the following movies like? So after Iron Man 3 was the next big movie I'm thinking of is
It was Age of Ultron.
yeah, Age of Ultron. And Age of Ultron, after Age of Ultron, like, was like the peak of him being super cocky, knowing what he was doing, and like him feeling like he knew he was like in control of everything, and like he was being super cocky. And then by the end of that movie, you can feel like his change of character because he doesn't know exactly what he's doing, because he failed
But that
making
shouldn't
Ultron.
have happened in Age of Ultron, because if he's already cocky and stuff, that's Iron Man 1 Iron Man. Because he was
Yeah,
cocky in that movie and learned his lesson, and then by Iron Man 2, he was the same cocky guy. And then, see, that's my thing, is that they make these movies from Marvel, and they either strip away the character development, or they just make them whole new characters. Tell me, how come Iron Man 3? Uh, I don't mind them making standalone movies, right? Because sometimes they're really great, but other times, like, why would Iron Man blow up all his iron suits for Pepper, and then in the very next movie, he's just back to Iron Man? Like, what was the point of blowing up all your stuff if you're not going to man up to it? That's what
oh
I'm
man,
saying,
I
is
have
that it's
to
not
check the order
consistent
of
to
the
each other.
movies again.
Because it's Iron Man 3 and then Age of Ultron. That was one of the reasons why I didn't like Age of Ultron, is because it didn't make sense how he went from I'm done with the superhero game to just going right back into it. You know?
I,
So I don't think Marvel is exempt from making inconsistent moves. They make good movies. I'm not disputing that, but the idea that they're exempt from not making like consistent moves, I don't know about that.
well, I mean, I wouldn't say they're not consistent because he, for the most part, he played character. Like, um,
For the most part, but
yeah,
you can
because
see
like
why it.
in from Iron Man 3 to Civil War was like he was super doubting himself, because there was even that part at the very beginning of Civil War where the that parent like talked to uh Tony Stark while he was like after his speech or whatever of his invention, and was
Yeah.
and ever since that point, like he's been really doubtful of himself, and really like um I guess like his actions were tied to how he acted in Iron Man 3, and then it continued through to the Infinity War and Endgame, because he didn't want to make another mistake, because like after Age of Ultron, he knew like I don't want to be the cause of the end of the world. He wanted to help the world, and so
See, that I can understand. That's a natural character progression.
yeah,
Like
and
that, him redeeming himself in Civil War or trying to do better is great. But I'm just saying he wasn't always consistent, because he only progressed after what, Age of Ultron, but there was still those missteps. You
yeah.
know, because that's what you're saying. DC has a problem with. Well, Marvel had the same thing.
No, I'm
with
not
their
saying
missteps
Marvel
there.
has a problem with their characters. I'm saying Marvel has a problem with the tone of their movies.
You mean
Because
DC has a problem with the tone of their movies?
no, because like every Marvel movie, or I want to say like above or at 80% of Marvel movies, you know what the tone of the movie is going to be going into the movie. So like Civil War was a really serious and like tone was like really serious and like not depressing, but like it was kind of like sad, because the two biggest heroes are like turning against each other. And then like Thor Ragnarok, you come in and you know it's gonna be a funny action packed movie. And then same with like
I didn't know that.
yeah, you
'Cause,
did.
again, Thor.
What do you?
No, well, yeah, because of the trailers, but Thor, that wasn't Thor's character.
No, but
From
you
other
come,
movies,
it,
that wasn't Thor's
it
character.
did a really good job at the first few lines of the movie. It sets the tone for the whole movie. It didn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I first went into Thor Ragnarok, I was surprised that there was a whole bunch of comedy from the advertisements. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think Thor was gonna be turned into what he was in Ragnarok. It was a fun movie. I'm not saying it's not a fun movie, but I'm just saying that tone was definitely different from what I was expecting.
Well, all I'm saying is like when you're throughout the first few minutes of the movie, you'll know the tone of the movie. Whereas like for Aquaman and for what was the other
So
one?
what was
Wonder
inconsistent about
Woman
Aquaman?
specifically, they were both like they both started off kind of serious, but then at points like they super turned into like something totally different. Where it was
I disagree with that.
and it was
I
trying to
do.
like be serious and lighthearted at the same time, and it didn't really work.
I don't agree with that. Those two movies were typical. I'll give you that, they were typical, but they had the
they were.
same. They had the same typical feel as a Marvel movie. Not like verbatim, because of course DC is a lot different from Marvel. But I'm just saying, there wasn't like it wasn't like Aquaman's mother got assaulted sexually and her son tries to go avenge her. But no, it was like the movie from Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Again, they're okay. They're okay movies. They're fun watches. They're not excellent at any standpoint, but I think they're pretty consistent in their tone of movies, which is different from their previous tone of movies. Like Batman v Superman was supposed to be super serious. That I can understand, but those movies alone, they have the same tone throughout, in my opinion.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Also,
No,
I
they-
also
I
don't
feel
agree
like
with
they
that. Like you don't want to rewatch these movies, but you want to rewatch Marvel movies. There's some Marvel movies I'd rather
Oh
not
yeah,
watch
there are
ever
obviously
again.
Marvel movies I don't rewatch. Like I don't rewatch the first two Thors. I don't rewatch the Hulk, Incredible
I feel like a lot
Hulk.
of people don't.
Like there are movies
Oh yeah, that was a completely different one.
Yeah, but,
that was
like,
a completely
there are
different
movies-
character guy.
that I don't rewatch. But like there are more like I don't rewatch any of the DC movies because it just feels like there's something not there that is there in the Marvel movies. Like at least that's what my whole family feels at least. And that's what like everyone all of most of my friends feel that I've talked to about it. But I don't know.
I think one of my problems with the Marvel movies is that what, and I think this is a problem with any series with multiple superheroes in it. But it's crazy to me how some of these Marvel movies feel like they're just there to set up a future Marvel movie. You know, like it doesn't feel like they're whatever they went through in the movie was a lot of. It didn't seem like they had a lot of character development. You know, like a lot of people just watch the movie as a distraction, and then once that after credit scene happens, they're like, "Oh, that's the next one." Like, how is it that every superhero can have a world-ending villain, like a galaxy-ending villain, and then where's the other Marvel Avengers? The only movie that I saw where the other characters actually came in was Captain America: Civil War, even though that wasn't really a Captain America movie. But you know what I'm saying is that whenever something
Well, I mean-
big happens,
I wouldn't say most of the characters are world ending. There are some that are definitely
Dormammu.
like bigger threats than others, but I wouldn't say any like standalone movie was world ending, except for like maybe the newest Spider-Man. But at the
about
same time, it at the end you
Doctor
find out it
Strange?
wasn't world ending. It was just a guy
Guardians of the
pretending
Galaxy.
to be a superhero. But
One and two.
Black Panther when he tried to declare war on anyone that wasn't, Wakanda. I'm just saying, a lot of those villains, they for sure, almost that's the structure. You introduce the character, you introduce the bad guy does his plan, the hero almost loses, and then the bad guy dies. Like their villains kind of suck butt. But to be fair, DC villains also suck butt too. But you know, at least our characters can live to see another movie. Like I think Black Panther, I didn't like the movie per se, but the villain had a lot of potential. Why'd they kill him off? He could have came back. I thought the whole point was to like start anew,
Yeah.
forgetting the past or something like that. And like I understand he wanted to die the bad guy wanted to die, but T'Challa should have just took him and, you know, saved him either way. Like, that was such a cool bad guy, and yet he dies.
Yeah, I personally didn't like the way they ended that. I would have rather him still be alive because
No,
what you said,
I
he
think he
was a
should have
really good
died.
villain, and he like his all his like talking points of why he is a villain were valid, and he wasn't really necessarily a villain. He was just a villain because people um cuz cuz he wanted to use Wakanda for to take over the world essentially. But
So, like a world-ending villain.
no, but like his thing was um he wanted to make the world better, but he wanted Wakanda to rule the world, which was what made him a villain. But his whole reason for why he wanted to take over the world was a righteous thing because he's seen that like we can like make the world better because we have the technology to do so, and we can like people don't have to starve, people don't have to have these things that they don't have to be, they can be better off, like they don't have to be in poor conditions or like they like I don't know. I keep stumbling over my words, but his whole point was like he wanted to make the world a better place, but the way he went about wanting to make the world a better place was not the right way to go about it, and that's what made him a villain. But I just wish like they would have kept him because his points were valid, and incorporating him would have been awesome.
Yeah, but he wanted to die.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like that's why he
So
died.
yeah, I mean like I feel like if he wanted to die, then kill him off. Because like I just felt like it was. I mean, for me, I think it was a good way for his character arc, I guess, to kind of like end. Because yeah, I mean, he did bring up some valid points and stuff, but at the same time, he also like almost messed up Wakanda, right?
Yeah,
So like, yeah, so I mean, and plus, I mean, he fought an honorable like battle, and he died a warrior, and he wanted to die the way like he saw fit, and so like I just thought that it was a good way to send off like a pretty cool villain, I guess.
I
Um,
think another thing is like back to the thing where you're saying most of these
and that's my
villains
two
were
cents.
world ending. Like the one Iron Man 3, I don't think was world ending. The guy just wanted um he wanted to fuck. He wanted to like make improve the human race, and he wasn't that big of a corporation to where like he would take over the world, at least at the point where he was in the movie. And then Black Panther was more of like, obviously you can't involve everyone in that movie because like you didn't know that Wakanda's trying to take over the world until the very end where he becomes the leader of Wakanda, and that's more of like a countrywide thing, I guess. It's not like a
What about
worldwide
Thor
thing
Dark
until
World?
like they involve the world. But another one is uh Captain America Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier's
Same
not gonna
answer.
end the world. Um
But what about
what's
Thor
another one?
Dark World?
But like, does it really matter if they end the world or not? I think it's just like the same premise though. Like, it's a villain that's trying to like beat or trying to be strong and shit, shoot, and like, or it's the same premise. It's the hero, and then the villain shows up, and then there's like this conflict going on, and then like again, yeah, like the Sodaaholic said, the hero almost loses, and then like they go to exile, and then the villain happens, and then the hero always wins, right? Right? You've seen that in every single Marvel movie besides Infinity, where the villain is victorious, right? So it's like even if they're world ending or not, like it's still kind of the same premise. In
To
all
be
these movies.
fair, to Marvel, DC also has any superhero movie
Yeah,
has that issue.
I mean, a lot of all the movies are the same.
Yeah.
The way I see it, though, is just because you have the similar layout doesn't mean you can't have an impactful story. If it's just
That's
that, then your movie sucks in my eyes. But if you like indulge yourself into what makes these characters, what makes defeat so meaningful, then the movie's good in my eyes. That's why I was saying about Black Panther's bad guy. It's not that him per se. It's just how much you understood what he stood for. Like you kind of agreed to him at some point to an extent, and that's why I was upset that he was given the boot and to death. Is because he had the most like compelling human story when it comes to a villain that we've seen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's true.
I hate the newest Spider-Man movie because I hate the villains so much. I hate their motivation, and to me, it's laughable to me how like some of these villains are just bad guys. Like it's not even like good reasons why.
You said the
And-
Spider-Man movies?
Yeah, the newest one.
The
newest
newest one? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
the newest
to
one.
be fair, all of the Iron Man movies were guys that wanted Tony Stark dead. That's what all of the Iron Man movies were. And then the newest Spider-Man movie was because of what happened in Iron Man. So I mean,
Yeah, but some of them were just piss poor excuses. That guy that Tony Stark just dismissed because he was a busy guy at a conference. Like, really? You're gonna be mad at Tony Stark for that? The guy that Obadiah Stane was yelling at because he wasn't really mad at him. He was just mad that they couldn't achieve what Tony Stark was doing. He didn't kill him. That Obadiah Stane was killing anyone so that he could be the top dog. Why is that scientist mad at Tony Stark when they were being wronged by a different guy? That's what I'm saying. Is that if they really had a compelling story, I wouldn't be so pressed on it. But when you got a guy who's yelling at you that's not even Tony Stark, and you're like, Tony Stark did this, to me, that's stupid.
Oh,
yeah. I didn't really like I guess most of the reasons, but at the same time you can see why they would hate Tony Stark, but at the same time you don't really see why they have so much hate to where they have to take that much revenge. But like,
See, that's what I'm saying.
but like,
I could see them on an angry forum for like Tony Stark.
yeah, like you could see all of them hating Tony Stark, like it's no doubt, but like the amount to like where they went to in order to get back at him, like that was kind of crazy. But to the point to where like all the Iron Man movies are people that hated Tony Stark. That's just how every Iron Man movie went. Like in one, it was Obadiah Stane, and like number two, it was that guy with
The whips.
yeah,
Oh.
his dad.
The
His dad
whip!
used to work with Tony Stark, and then Tony Stark fired him because he didn't want to give that guy credit.
That
And then in part
Iron Man
3
2's
was the guy
tone
was a
out of-
guy that visited Tony Stark and wanted to do a pitch to him about technology he was working on, and he just
That's
turned him away.
right.
And then it all concluded
That's another
with
dumb
the
hero.
new Spider-Man.
That's another dumb villain. That's right. He got mad because he got stood up on the roof.
Yes.
He was like, as I was standing there angry looking at the fireworks, I swore to kill Tony Stark.
But that,
like, that's stupid.
all I'm saying is that's how
stupid.
all the Iron Man movies went. And
Other than Obadiah Stane, the Iron Man movies, standalone movies, other than the first one. Because the reason why I like the first one a lot is because you got a deep dive into his character. And even though it follows the tropes of introducing the character getting lost, the character almost losing, it did a lot of character building to where Tony Stark, it showed him getting attacked by terrorists. You know, like a lot of it was character building versus just going through the motion, which I feel like Marvel has gotten into the groove of doing nowadays.
I don't know.
Not all their movies, but
Part
definitely
3 was really
Iron Man
character building though too. To that
What?
point, yeah, it was because it was the first one where you get introduced to him having anxiety attacks and him like
But
doubting
then they didn't
himself.
stick with that though.
No, they
didn't stick
did.
with that until after their other movie. How are you gonna say?
Have
Okay,
to
we're
look
gonna.
at the order of these movies because I don't. I'm
How are
not
you gonna go
100%
from
sure.
Iron Man 3?
Iron Man 3 is before
It
Age of
is because
Ultron.
the only flashback he has is before.
Yeah, it goes Avengers and then Iron Man 3, then Age of Ultron.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, if Iron Man 3 took place after Age of Ultron, and he had flashbacks of both, which led him into like going deeper into like controlling what superheroes should do, that would make a lot more sense to me. But like just not committing to some of these story plots that they set up to do kind of irks me the wrong way. Now, DC also has that problem. DC, what the fuck are you doing? Martha! Why'd you say that? That's stupid. That is
That
stupid.
was one of the most
that was-
cringiest parts of that movie.
They couldn't really figure out anything how to bring them two together besides their
It was-
mom
Yeah.
like that.
It was DC. Honestly, it was DC trying to play catch up with Marvel. One, I will give Marvel this: they are doing great in build up. Like they know how to tease their audience for more. They know how to set up characters that get introduced or get like what's it called, explored more about in future movies. Marvel or not Marvel, DC just try to push their characters out, which sucked. Bit them in the ass. And then Justice League, their tone switch. If you watch Man of Steel, not Man of Steel, if you watch Batman v Superman, and then go watch Justice League, the tones are completely different, out of the ballpark. But I did like Man of Steel, the predecessor to Batman v Superman, and I liked Batman's. I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I don't think the movie did a good job setting up their characters, but like Batman hating Superman, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, that was cool.
You know, watching Batman watch firsthand Superman destroying the city that he loved, even though it was only Metropolis, like that was cool. Anything after that was dumb. But I will say, like, I just appreciate like more intense moments. That's why I like movies like Joker, The Dark Knight, is because they go through that same obstacles and same bad guy almost wins and good guy prevails, but they fuck. They dive.
It's really
They
hard to talk.
dive deep into what makes them human,
Yeah.
which is a problem that anyone could face. But I see a lot more humanity in some of these DC movies than I do in the Marvel movies.
I want to argue
for
that,
some.
but okay. Like,
I don't know, man. T'Challa
Why-
from Civil War was a lot different from T'Challa in Black Panther.
yeah. That's because T'Challa in Civil War didn't lose his dad yet. And then T'Challa in Black Panther, he already lost his dad, and now he has all that responsibility thrown on him. He didn't have a responsibility in Civil War.
I think. Well, no,
Wait.
that's what I'm saying. I think him in Black Panther was a lot less wise than how he was in Civil War, even though he lost his dad. Like him being like
No, didn't he lose his dad? Because like
before Black
'Cause-
Panther.
Yeah.
I thought it was
No, it was
after.
before.
Mm-mm.
Because it went Civil War, then Black Panther.
Yeah.
So his dad was alive in Black
No,
Panther?
it was not.
No.
Civil War, his dad dies in Civil War. In
Yeah.
the
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
the world-
in Civil War,
something meeting. I don't
was-
remember.
in Civil War,
Wait,
was Black Panther? Was he just super athletic? Is that why he was able to do the things that he could? Because
No, it
in
was
Black
the-
Panther, the movie, they show that he also has that flower power. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't mean that. I don't mean to say that like just to dismiss it, but like I don't know what it's called. But he was given powers. Like the Black Panther actually has powers.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I feel like
But,
it was
like-
because at the time, like, his dad is too old, so he can't do like the athletic stuff that the Black Panther has to do. So by that time it was probably like at least the responsibility of being the actual Black Panther was passed down to the son. But to your point, like it doesn't really make that much sense. Because you have to be the king to be Black Panther, and he wasn't the king, per se, at that point. But he was the prince, so, I mean...
Oh, I thought. No, I'm just trying to wrap up my mind because I love the Black Panther movie, but like, there was a scene in Black Panther where the T'Challa goes into like the mystical world and he's talking to his dad.
Yeah, his dad's
right?
dead, but
Yeah.
it was his dad and
Yeah.
all the other past kings.
Yeah.
So
It was like a spirit world.
Black Panther. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm like half paying attention, but like. It goes so it doesn't go Black Panther Civil War. It goes Civil War then
Yeah,
Black
that's
Panther.
what we said.
Yes.
It goes Civil War, Black Panther.
But my thing is, I feel like Black Panther in Civil War is wiser than the one in.
No, I would say
Black
he's a lot
Panther.
more reckless in Civil War because he
Yeah,
chased
he's a
after that
lot more
dude
reckless,
just because he killed his dad. But like in Black
Yeah,
Panther,
but then he
wouldn't have
redeemed
done
himself
that.
at the end.
Huh?
He redeemed himself
Yeah.
because he didn't go after Bucky. He went after the actual guy who.
Yeah, exactly.
who,
And then in Black, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
actually in the Black Panther, you could see that he's much more mature. But like in Civil War, he was immature. He was just like not fully mature.
He was blinded by
Yeah.
revenge because like he was a prince and then like all he wanted was
All he wanted
you
was
know,
to, like,
justice, right?
Be better,
Kill the
or
dude.
not be better, but like live up to his dad's legacy, I guess. And then to that point before where you said you can't see humanity in the characters, like the Ant-Man was a guy that's been to jail and all he wants to do is see his daughter. That's why he became Ant-Man, because he wants to be good in the light of his daughter. And then
Okay, the tone of Ant-Man is also out of sync. Like that movie, it's just a comedy. You know that could be replaced by anyone. Seth Rogen could play that.
no, but
version
I'm
of
saying
Ant-Man.
all I'm saying is you don't see. How can you not see the humanity in these characters when like the whole first part of
only-
each of these movies is them going over?
You're telling me you've never seen a movie where a guy was in a tough spot and just wanted to see his daughter. That to me sounds more cliched than him like actually thriving to go see his daughter. Now, him in what's it called? Endgame, when he's like desperately searching all the memorial stones. Now that I loved that scene because it shows that he's desperately searching to make sure that his daughter's name isn't on the deceased
but
in memoriam.
exactly,
That
like
I
his
can
character
understand.
stays the same throughout the whole
That,
series.
but no, that doesn't look. That isn't the same person as in the other ones. Those are just comedies with just beats to hit. Okay.
No, but his the tone of Ant-Man never changes. It doesn't. Like he acts the same in each movie he's in. Just like how Spider-Man acts the same in each movie he's in. Just like how Thor after the first two Thors acts the same in every movie he's in.
After the already
after
established
the first two
movies.
Thors. But like most of the characters, like their tone is the same though throughout all their movies, except for like Thor is the only one that's different. And then the little hiccup in Iron Man's I guess how do you say it? Like just tying it all together for Iron Man, but like most of the characters act the same throughout all their movies, or like
The only characters with actual human, with like actual like human, like decent human writing is Iron Man. Peter Parker's a kid, so it's easy to write for him. The Falcon, an ex-vet who now has the wings, and like some of these characters, I'll give you, like, yeah, they were written really well, but I wouldn't say Ant-Man is a testament to human to connecting with a human being.
No, but
'Cause
like there's a bunch of
any
different
person trying to
characters.
fight. The way I see it is that when it comes to tone, if it's a shared universe, the tone has to stay the same. Okay, that's why in Iron Man, not Iron Man, and Captain America, I think Winter Soldier, or something. What's it called? Director Fury. He made a comment about like he doesn't want to trust people because the last time he trusted someone, he lost an eye. And then in
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, he lost an eye to a space cat. Like what? That's stupid. Like some of these things are just inconsistent. Now again, DC has the same problem, but like that's my thing is that I kind of hold both.
Actually,
both
it was
companies.
consistent because if you think about it, in Captain Marvel,
He trusted a
says-
cat.
but he says that he doesn't eat square bread, and in one of the movies he eats square, not square, uh bread that's cut into a triangle. And then in one of the movies you see him eating the a sandwich that's cut into a triangle, and you know that it's not
That's your
him
defense.
because like in the
A
very
sandwich.
next movie it becomes it they show him as a Cree, and you're like, oh, it makes sense. He was taking a vacation ever since that one movie. But that's like super
Yes.
minute detail. But anyways, ba- turning it back to like why I don't see the humanity in
Minute.
the in most of the like not in the DC characters, because um what is it? Wonder Woman was always a hero. She never like had like a human sense to her, and then Aquaman was started off human, but then like like he didn't really have like a full fledged story. Like he was a drunk. That was what he was. Like it's not hard to write a character as a drunk. If you want to say that
But
that freak that Avengers characters weren't well written, then you have to say the same thing for DC
DC.
characters,
And
because
I
they
have.
weren't well written. They don't have like very human characteristics to them.
I mean,
I don't know.
if you-
Man of
if you-
Steel,
if you-
even though like he was a space alien, he tried to live a normal life. It wasn't until when he was thrusted into like world-ending villains where he had to like strip away the man he was before. You know, like like the climax of that movie is him killing the bad guy. A lot of people were pissed, but I loved it because after he killed his bad guy, you know, he screamed. He was in pain. He didn't want to kill anyone. Seeing someone fight internally, morally, about who they are inside, is what I gravitate to.
But you're
And-
not gonna say the same for Iron Man. He tore himself apart in Civil War and in the movies afterwards. He'd even want to build the time machine because he had a daughter and he didn't want to lose his daughter, and he didn't want to mess
No, I
up
didn't-
again.
Again, I said that Iron Man was exempt from, other than him not like.
Yeah.
There is inconsistencies, but Iron Man also has like the most human story. You know, I said that before, but at the same time, the inconsistencies of not sticking to that, you know, some of his weaknesses in some movies. Now again, he has the best written character, but at the same time, there were some movies where they didn't commit to that. What I mean, well, okay, to be fair, what I really mean is Age of Ultron. Just him having that break of who he was
Yeah,
and then switching back.
I think
you know.
Age of Ultron is more of like, in Part 3 or in Iron Man 3, he was like having a bunch of anxiety attacks. The kid tells him like, you should just have more confidence, and then Age of Ultron is him like, all right, I've seen that the world is gonna go into shit, so I want to do something about it, and that's his call to action. And then after that, he messes up again, and then he has a lot more self doubt, and that's why it comes back. I don't know, but like, I can see how that's a hiccup, but like at the same time, you can still write it off as like it's his call to action. He's seen, like, he had the vision in the previous Avengers movie, and he wants to fix it. And then he ends up messing it up and then goes back to having his anxiety attacks.
Yeah, I guess. I liked him a lot in Infinity War.
But
Uh,
what I'm gonna say is, to DC's credit, like, historically, DC has had a lot more better cartoons than Marvel has. Marvel's just all over with their cartoons, especially like, I don't know, man. Like, I like the old Justice League. The old Justice League was like my favorite cartoon growing up, and it had a good way to display all of the characters in the DC universe, and also like Teen Titans is another DC uh, cartoon. Those are
Teen Titans Go.
no, not Teen Titans Go. But those two cartoons were like historically, DC is really good at making cartoons, and Marvel is not so great. But I feel like Marvel is just so much better at making movies than DC. Because
They have a lot more.
they have a lot
commercial
more movies
success.
that land and hit the mark than DC does. And
Okay, that's fair.
and DC
Technically, yes.
was those few movies like Batman versus Superman and Wonder Woman and Aquaman, all those movies that hey, we're gonna punch back at Marvel and say no, we're the best. They didn't land. That's all I want
I
to say.
think Wonder Woman landed.
I forgot about that movie.
I mean, not as big box office as some of those other.
I will
Avenger
say,
movies.
Wonder Woman is
Wonder
a
Woman-
much better movie than Captain Marvel. That's what I will say.
Well, any movie can be better than Captain Marvel.
No, I don't think Civil War, or I mean not Civil War. I don't think Superman versus Batman or Batman versus Superman is better than Captain Marvel. I don't think so. At least, I just really don't.
No,
like,
that's fair.
I really despise Batman versus Superman. It's such a cringe movie.
I think Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. If we're talking post the Nolan Batman movies, Man of Steel, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and the Joker movie are pretty
Yeah.
solid movies. They're garbage movies where Batman v Superman, Justice League, Suicide Squad, and Harley Quinn. I don't care what you guys say. That movie was garbage. That new Harley Quinn movie was garbage. But yeah, but at the same time, like movies like Joker, even though it's only one character that's not even Batman, like that created such a you know how many people put up security at movie theaters just for that one movie, and when you watch the movie, you understand why. It's because it dives deep into the idea that a single man could create such a problem. People were afraid of copycats of that because of how well they performed and wrote that character. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
Like
think
their good movies make such a splash versus Marvel movie. I see Marvel movies as like a fun movie, a fun movie franchise. But like movies like Joker and The Dark Knight, they speak more. They're more intense, I should say.
Yeah.
And I don't want to watch something comfortable. I want to watch something intense. And so far, Iron Man 1, Infinity War, and Winter Soldier were the only Marvel movies to do that for me.
I mean, Black Panther was more intense than like other movies because it actually dealt with pressing problems. Like it actually deal with real life problems, and I feel like that's if you want to say it's not intense, I think that one's more intense. But to your point, yeah, they DC does tackle more intense topics, but like I just think more of Marvel's movies hit the mark rather than DC's movies.
Well, that's a fair opinion. Now I want to see who dominates the video game world because right now DC is all right because Marvel doesn't have a lot of video games out there. I mean,
Yeah.
DC has the Batman Arkham games, it has the Injustice games, and I think so far Marvel has the not the Amazing, but Spider-Man
Yeah.
and that new Avengers game that's coming out.
Yeah, there's
So I'm wondering who's gonna dominate the video game world, and it
that's
comes to
pretty
the
good.
media. So
We'll
just
have to wait and see.
Yeah, we have to wait and see.
I think so far Marvel has to step up their game in the video game world because I don't see a lot of Marvel video games. I do know that there's a lot more DC video games out there than Marvel movies or games. Anyways, what do you guys think? Who's better, Marvel or DC? What movies do you like better? What's your favorite Marvel or DC movie?
Do you watch Teen Titans Go? Do you think Teen Titans Go like? Hey, props to Stan Lee for appearing in the Teen Titans Go movie. That was cool. Watching Stan Lee appear in a DC movie, and then him saying, "Oh no, not a DC movie." That's great. What a great stand-up guy. God rest his soul.
All right. See you guys next time.
Oh, see you guys. Yeah.